the hardest part of trading, what I tell people, is the psychology.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, you can learn how to read a chart in a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on you. But reading a chart is not the hard part. It's the psychology. And luckily, I was able to kind of really just push through and know that from the jump. Because I had seen a lot of the people that introduced me to trading, their psychology was off.
Hey trader, welcome back to another top tier interview. Brittany Hughes here, and I have a very special guest with us today. But before we get into the conversation, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can continue to get updated whenever we're sharing new interviews, and you can get in on the value that is just being dropped within these conversations. Joining me today is an affiliate of Top Tier. We have Antonio Lama. Hi.
How are you? How are
Good.
you? How are you?
How are you today?
I'm good, Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, it's nice
Glad
to be
to be
connected with
alive.
you. Yeah, I feel the same way. I like to start out these conversations giving you your flowers and taking the time and allowing you to share an achievement, have it be trading related, have it be personal related, any achievement that you want to share with us. We can start out with the win.
Well, thank you. Before anything, thank you. Any new achievements? Honestly, I had just partnered up with a very, very great trader, one of my friends, Brian Crandell. We have a lot of things coming out for Pay to Play, our brand, and I'm excited to have that going on in motion right now.
Yeah.
Any other achievements? Not yet. The job's not done.
Okay.
Job's not done.
Okay.
So I don't want to sit here and clap around yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, we won't spend too much time there then, but I want to use this time to delve into who you are ultimately and kind of what has led you to where you are now at this point. And I'm interested to know, before trading, before you even discovered what trading was and you had your first exposure to trading, what were you doing before then? What was life like?
Well, I was always the kid that wasn't that great at school or focused. I was never really that focused in school. I was always smart, was never really dedicated in school and learning and this, that, and the third. I had gone to school, ended up moving to Orlando, went to school, got kicked out for a semester, kind of just stayed around, involved in other side things, and eventually just felt stuck. Moved back to Miami, and I ran into a friend that does trading. When I heard about it, to me, it was just something that was kind of like a no-brainer. It's like one of those things you kind of want to, you want to learn it. When you hear about the opportunities, this, that, and the third, you see all the lifestyles. When people just start showing you, all these traders, you're like, whoa, this is doable. And this was around, I want to say, 2020, April of 2022.
Okay.
2022.
Oh.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like a year and a half in right now in
Okay.
trading. This was of 2022 April. I had heard about trading. What really got me is I heard about the prop accounts. I had a friend first tell me put some money into a live account because I already had kind of a healthy stocks account.
Okay.
And he was trading. He was like, "Oh, I could do a lot with this," and I was like, "Yeah, I'd rather put my own skill into my own money than put my trust in someone else." So I hear about the prop accounts a month later, and I'm like, whoa, you put up $1,000 for an account that gave you 200K and you cashed out 20K? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You 20x your money. That's kind of crazy. So that's where I was instantly I bought an account. And within the same day, boom, I blew it.
Of course. Of course.
And I was like, whoa, okay, this is something I'm going to have to kind of learn it or something. And
at that point, had you developed a strategy? Nothing. You were just like, I'm just going for it.
I bought the account, blew the account.
Okay.
And I was like, didn't know nothing about lot sizes, risk management. I didn't even know supply and demand.
Okay.
I didn't know nothing. I saw US 30 people trading it and people making money. And I was like, I need that. So I got in, blew accounts, boom, and then I started really kind of looking up YouTube videos and learned about supply and demand, stuff like that, would buy accounts and really learned risk management based off of myself. losing the money.
Yeah.
So I would blow an account, and then I realized that lot size was too crazy. I was going for too much. I was being too greedy. Things were just, I was really just learning myself.
Yeah.
Like what I should have done, ideally.
Yeah, if you could go back in time, what would you have done up to that point?
I mean, humbly, I wouldn't change anything because it all taught me something. But first thing what I recommend people that have zero knowledge is buy a course. You get me, pay to play. You have to pay to play. Invest into something if you want to make something out of it, which I didn't do. Luckily, thankfully, I had enough funds where I was able to lose money and not quit, because the only losers are the quitters. You get me? So I had blew well over, in 3 months, I had blew over 10 accounts.
Okay.
Easily I was down $9K. And before I skip, my last account, I had got live. I got to the live part, and first day of being live, I blew it. And then,
what was that coming down to? Was it just over leveraging?
Over leverage.
Okay.
Over leverage and not knowing news days. I didn't know about Forex Factory. I didn't know about none of these where the day, the day and the time. I didn't know none of that.
Interesting.
So, once I blew that live account, that was where I took a month off of trading, and I just stared at the chart every day. For about 6 to 7 hours out the day, I would look at it every couple hours, just really get myself involved, and actually just start kind of charting up instead of getting on the chart and getting it on certain zones. You get me?
Yeah.
So after that month, it was kind of crazy because that was when my Forex funds had finally released the 300K accounts.
Okay.
And I bought one. And the first day I had made the 8%, which was 36,000, I think it was.
Okay, yeah, the phase one.
Or 24,000, yeah. The phase one, 24,000, and I got it live, and I still had to wait 5 days. So I'm like, let me buy another one. So I bought another 300K account. First day, I smacked probably 8K. The second day, I already had phased it. So I was just there waiting for both accounts to get to phase 2.
Got it.
And I was like, okay, this month break kind of might have worked. Phase 2 comes, boom, I phase them both out first day, 15K days. Yeah, it was crazy. So that week, I had made 72K in between the two accounts, because it was 36K each between the phases. And I was like, damn, this is money that can, if I'm live, this can be real money. So I kind of slowed down. I'm lying to you. I didn't slow down. I remember my first trade on the live account, I actually posted the video on my TikTok, I think it was, and my Instagram, where this was all perfect timing. It was my birthday was coming up. I was heading to a cruise. I'm on the way to the port of Miami in the car, and I told one of my friends, yo, news drops in 10 minutes. I need you to tell me what it says, the number and the color of what comes out.
Yeah. He
tells me, I hop in the car. I get to the port, and I'm up 12K. And I wasn't going crazy. It was
this is your live account now?
Because this was live. This was live account.
Past phase 1 and phase 2 at this point.
This was live.
Okay.
My first ever trade on the live account. If you see the video, you'll see 300. You know how it says 300K when it's a new account, and then it says the first trade.
Yeah.
That was my first trade.
Okay.
So I'm in the port of Miami, going through with my phone, looking at it, yo, if I see 20, I'm taking 20. And I was in with the 50 lot, so I was already up 200 points. I was safe. I was okay, I see it going to this level. This is exactly 20K. This is going to be crazy.
And what were you trading, out of curiosity?
30-30.
Okay, of course.
30-30. So I'm going through, it's kind of crazy because, you have to put your bag down, your phone. Yeah. It's going through, the X-ray. I put my phone. I'm, going through the X-ray. Oh, my God, I hope I don't get my phone back. And it's at 3K. Get my phone back. It's 16. I'm oh, my God, this is going crazy. This is actually going great. And we get through the port. We're sitting there waiting for the cruise, and I see the 20. And my friend comes, boom, he records it. It looks crazy, and I close it. And that was my first ever trade on the live, 20K trade.
Yeah.
And I come to terms now that it was that was one of the best days, not of my life, because there's obviously better things than money.
Of course.
But it was one of the best days of my trading life and the worst.
Why do you say that?
Okay, so I'll explain it to you. So when I come back from the cruise, I was already thinking 20K. I had got on trades on both accounts. I remember being up 15K on both accounts because I started doing the same trades, boom, together.
Yeah.
Up 15K on both, closing them negative because I didn't get the 20. So that was where like everything was at 20K. And after that specific trade where I was up 15 on both, waiting for the 20 and it reversed, I was like, all right, let me chill. And from there, I started really locking in. So
and
it was like,
all this in 2022? Like,
it was all last year.
It's just crazy.
Such
a short time stint.
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you really like put the time in, time goes by like kind of slow and kind of fast. You get me? Like this was only a year ago, but in that year, the amount of trading that I had did, the amount of like time I had on the charts, you would think it's a couple years worth of time. You get me?
Yeah.
Because it's not like most people that buy one account, blow the account, take a month off. Like no, I was buying, blowing, boom, boom, boom.
It's like in this condensed time period, the experience of buying, blowing, figuring out why you're blowing the account.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like I had a course. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have no one guide me, tell me chill. None of this. Like I really had to buy an account, blow an account, understand why I blew it, realize why I blew it, then understand the market because I didn't even know how to trade at the time. Like I taught myself how to trade, how to risk manage, how to like the psychology, how to be calm, how to like not be greedy, like this, that, and the
What
third.
are some of the things that you did whenever, let's say, you bought an account, blew the account? Okay, back to the drawing board. Let's see maybe a mistake that I made to not. So next time I go after one, when I buy one tomorrow, I'm not making the same mistakes. What were you doing to kind of course correct as you were going along?
Trading.
Yeah. Interesting.
I was trading.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I was gonna like hit the drawing board and hit
were
my
you
notebook.
journaling or just
No journaling.
Okay,
I didn't start journaling until probably like 7 months in.
Okay.
That was when I was like, let me take this more serious because by then the money came in. You get me? Like that, I had my profitable month was on month 4. Like I had 3 months of blowing accounts, and then once like August, like not even August, like late July. Like I was already live by July because that's my birthday. By August, I was already cashing out. Boom, and I had got like ended up getting like since it was 200-300K accounts, respectively that month together. Not respectively, but both of them combined, it was like maybe like a 70-80K month. So the 10 that I had lost in my learning of 3 months was out the window.
Yeah.
Like that was didn't care about it. It taught me a lot, and that's where I get to say like the only losers are the quitters. You get me? Like I could have lost 5 accounts and quit. I could have lost 6 accounts and quit. 7, like you get me? Luckily, thankfully, I had enough money where the L's didn't hurt me. They taught me like all losses are lessons at the end of the day. You have to live and learn. Like losses are lessons. Like it is what it is.
Totally.
Don't sit and cry about it. Like if you're gonna sit and cry, you're not gonna get anywhere. Like you have to just keep it pushing, and that's it. Like there's no barriers.
So the only capital that you risked of your own, which of course you could say that you're risking money by investing in the challenges, but the only time you were trading on your own live account was in the very beginning. And then you've only traded prop firm since then.
Since then, I literally only traded prop. Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay.
I had made a live account maybe like a month ago, and I had no idea. Like I was not used to a small account. Blew it first day.
Okay.
First day, I put like 5K in an account just to test the waters, and I put like a 50 lot in on 30. And I got in the trade at like 928.
Okay.
For buys. 930 hits, 200-point down move. It was crazy. It was by 935 we were down 200 points. My account was gone. It was cooked, and I was like, dang, whatever. I'm not opening a live account until I have 100, 200K to put in comfortably.
Totally.
You get me? Like, and so I'm comfortable because at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't understand is like every investment is not a W. Most people like hear the word investing and they say like when I grow up I want to invest, and they think like that's instant money coming in, and it's not. Like it's money you have to be okay with losing. Exactly. Every investment is a risk, no matter how safe you think it is. Like no, none of them are risk free. Nothing is risk free, unless you're like not even then. Like they say to give the banks money and get the interest.
Everything is a risk.
Yeah, exactly. So until I have 100, 200K comfortably to throw in an account, I'm not gonna trade live because to me, like, it makes sense, but it doesn't with the small account. You get
Yeah.
me?
Do you feel like the parameters, like the risk parameters that prop firms have, they have certain, you have to stay within, let's say, 5% of
A day.
daily drawdown, 10% overall. Do you find that these barriers kind of help you
Yes.
in a way?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why. So after about month 5, month 6, once I like had got all that knowledge that I had got, I decided let me start opening up, just teach people for free. Like, I wasn't even charging yet, and that helped me even more because now I had to really be like disciplined on my trades, really like sit out sometimes, really stay on the charts as well. Like, so that helped me. And I always would tell my students, buy a prop account. Buy a prop account because now you're going to know what it's like to only risk 5%, 4%, 3% a day. Like, there's times you shouldn't risk 3%, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes you got to. You get me? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It all depends who you are, what you're going for. I'm cool with risking 3%. Some people say risk 1. Like, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's different.
Of course.
So I would tell people, now you're going to know what it's like to barely risk anything, really have like strict rules that now you have to follow. It's not like everyone makes a rule for themselves, go to the gym every day at 7. Like,
so easy to break this.
yeah, you're going to break them.
Yeah.
But once you lose that money, once you break those rules and the money's out of your pocket, you're going to feel that. You get me? So that's why I really make students go the prop route, because it's like now the prop helps me help them. You get me?
Exactly.
Because the rules is like you have to follow them.
Exactly.
The student goes live, he can over leverage any day he wants and risk whatever he wants. And then he loses the money and blames who? Someone else. They go to blame, everyone goes to blame other people. Once you like, until you don't take responsibility of your own actions, like, you're never going to learn. You get me? Like, I knew every account I blew, it was my fault. And that's what made me learn. Because I'm like, what did I do? It's not like I was like, the market's attacking me.
Yeah.
Jerome Powell did. Like, no.
Yeah.
It was always my fault at the end of the day.
You've been doing this for not a long time, like a year and a half, 2 years?
Like a year. It's not 2 years.
Not even
It's been since April of last year.
Okay, April of last year.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you are currently within your trading journey? I know you mentioned, like, I like to think of it as, it sounds like you went the accelerated route. So in terms of, I like to break it down kind of like going to university, right? Freshman year, you're reckless, you're doing things, you probably aren't supposed to be doing, but you're putting your feet in the water.
Of course.
Sophomore year, you have more of an understanding, like, okay, this isn't going to be an overnight success. Like, this is going to require some work. Junior year, you have you're adopting certain habits, disciplines, mindset shifts. And then your senior year, like, it's now a part of you. And now you're implementing those things and you're consistently profitable. You're kind of graduating on to being an expert. It sounds like you've really condensed that time period in a year and a half's time. Where would you say that you are in your trading journey?
I wouldn't want to say I'm a senior.
Okay.
But I would love to say I was taking AP classes. I was going to tutoring. You get me? Like, it's not like you got to put the work in at the end of the day. Like, you get me? Like, I was luckily, the hardest part of trading, what I tell people, is the psychology. Because at the end of the day, you can learn how to read a chart in a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on you. But reading a chart is not the hard part. It's the psychology. And luckily, I was able to kind of really just push through and know that from the jump. Because I had seen a lot of the people that introduced me to trading, their psychology was off. So it was able for me to, like, I'm not the type that sees you do something wrong and then, like, ignore it. Like, I'm going to be like, oh, wow, okay. Like, I learned off your mistake.
Okay.
You get me? So that's what helped me out, the psychology. And I was able to really understand that and just accelerate. Because the learning of the charts isn't the hard part.
What was the biggest psychology shifts that you had to make?
When I had blew that first account and I took that month off, that was where I had to really like I understood, like, dang, I put in all that work and I just blew the account live. And that was where I was like, all right, I need to relax with my lot sizes. I got to relax with the certain times I trade. I cannot force trades. I cannot make the chart. I can't, like, want it to do something and then see it kind of do something and be like, oh, there it is. You get me? Like, when you want the chart to do something?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, there. Like, no. That's not how it goes. You get me?
Patience.
Yes, patience pays. Exactly. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, no, you did. I think ultimately it comes down to your point. The charts are the charts, right? Your strategy, if it's a sound strategy, if the market presents an opportunity, it'll present the opportunity. You identify that opportunity and hopefully you take it. Now, easier said than done because what's going on in here. So if you can master your mind, self-awareness, knowing what your blind spots are, maybe what is hindering you. For me personally, has been, there's like fear, there's greed, there's FOMO. And for me, something that I've been able to implement, I'm currently reading The Trading Coach. And I have this lingering, sometimes, fear of what if price reverses on me. And something that I've done to implement that, though, in terms of I've journaled about it, and I've just saw it as a reoccurring pattern. So in order to compensate for that, every time price comes back to, let's say it comes back to my original entry, or it's even giving me a better entry point, I'll put another position in of lower risk, but it's just me training my mind to be confident in my analysis and quote unquote double down. Even if I'm not putting as much risk on that second position, it's like I'm conditioning my mind to say, we're sticking with our analysis. If it goes against us, it goes against us. That's why we use good risk management for those times that it does go against us, because it will. But I find that if you're able to, I'm such a big proponent of journaling, so you can pinpoint these areas where it can be supplemented with something else. And so being able to be self-aware enough to then put something into action to compensate for those maybe insecurities or whatever you might call them is key to growth on the charts and obviously off the charts as well.
I feel like a lot of things I learned on the charts really like helped my real life.
Yeah.
You get me? Like that's like when you look at a lot of the big traders, they're doing healthy things. Like they're working out, eating good, already rich, financially stable. Like the stuff that you do on the charts, you focus on the charts, really help your real life. And like a lot of different things. Like the discipline is the most important thing on the charts, which is what is like the key of life, to really be disciplined. And as for what you were saying, I realized when you're in profit, you're like have more fear. And when you're negative, you're like hopeful. And that's like shouldn't be like that. You get what I'm saying?
It's
like
backwards.
Like I'm always in profit and I'm like, oh my God. Like but that usually comes, you know what they say that is? It's usually your leverage. So if you're already in a little too heavy, that's why you're like, oh, I don't want to give up this profit.
Yeah.
Because you know you're in kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And then when you're negative, you're like, oh my God, I hope I at least go break even, because you don't want to take that loss. So it's like, it's about just setting the trade. Sometimes you just got to look away.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that lower time frame will have 75% of the time psych you out always. Like I realize if your trade is based off, let's say, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, look at those time frames. I only look at the 1 and the 5 for my entry, and so it's hard to not look at them. You get me? But like you shouldn't realistically.
I want to break down your strategy, if you don't mind sharing with us. When you're looking at a chart, what do you consider an A+ setup? What needs to happen? And what style trader are you as well?
I would like to say I'm more like a not a scalper, but like I'll trade for like within like 15 minutes to 2 hours. Okay. I've never held a trade for over a day. I've held some trades for like 6 to 8 hours, but I've never swung a trade like that.
Okay.
And I'll get into trades for 15 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 15, sometimes 30. You know how US 30 is.
Yeah.
So I don't like to ask for too much from 30.
Yeah.
And 30, if you get a good 15-minute candle, you get a good week.
Yeah.
You get me? You don't have to trade for the rest of the week. Your day is done off of one 15-minute candle. So what I like to see when I trade is, depending on certain zones, it's like a mixture of obviously supply and demand, and then spotting liquidity, watching liquidity get grabbed, seeing if the candle could go into maybe like a fair value that can kind of show a reversal point, and then it go down, go back up into a fair value that it creates going the opposite direction. Like let's say we take buy side liquidity. I would like to see it hit a sell side fair value, go down, create a buy side fair value, go up
To retest it.
to retest that fair value.
And
then the support's here. So now it's like, boom, hitting it, and then go back down and fully respect it. And that's the confirmation trade that I like to see paired with liquidity and supply and demand zones, maybe quarter points. Like, it all depends. Every trade is different. I don't really I don't have too much noise on my chart.
Yeah.
I just look at the chart and I just draw on it. I don't really use RSI, RDX, ADX, Fibonacci's.
Yeah.
Usually when someone puts a Fibonacci, I already have those zones marked out. You get me? So it's like, I don't look at percentages and
Got
stuff.
it. Yeah. What you just shared is very similar to what I'm looking for on the charts as well. I'm holding anywhere from, my take profit could be hit in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm never really holding a trade for more than a day, few hours, maybe just through New York session at most. Looking for areas of liquidity. I look at pre-market a lot for price to sweep either high or low of pre-market, high or low of day, hit an area of interest, having it be H1 order block, and then also highest closing up or down candle to be traded above or below it, pull back in to validate the order block to then take liquidity to whatever direction. Yeah.
Got to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Some people make it a little too difficult, and when there's too much noise, you can't perform. You get me? I like to keep it simple, get in, get out. I'm right, I'm wrong. On to the next. The charts move every single day, all day. Like, I'm not going to sit and cry. I used to sit and cry about some trades. I'm over that. I'm in, I'm out, I'm right or I'm wrong. It's one or the other. Like, it's my decision. You get me? Like, that's the beauty of trading, that you risk however much you want, you make however much you want, and then that's it. Like, you have all the time in the world to do whatever you want.
And which primarily do you just trade US 30?
Yeah. I look at gold. I look at NAS. Sometimes GJ, because everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
But no, 30. Got to be loyal. One pair, one session.
Yeah.
I keep it like that. One pair at a time, one session. Keep it disciplined.
And that's it. Yeah. You brought up a good point that I want to touch a little bit deeper on in terms of the things that you learn in trading and the skill set, the mindset that you acquire through this skill set is very interchangeable to up-leveling your personal development, personal life. What have you noticed from the skills, the mindset shifts that you've developed in trading, and how that's translated to real life, your personal life?
Dedication, discipline, persistence.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to answer that one. I feel like without just saying that, like, it's just it taught me more dedication. It taught me more discipline. Like, motivated me to really do things more, like, out of the ordinary. Like, even then, there's times I look at, like, if I say, like, what am I gonna do throughout the day, or like, what have I accomplished for the day? Like, sometimes I think of candles, like candle patterns, like the day is split between like 6 4-hour candles, so it's like, what have I done in these past 4 hours? I'll think sometimes, or like, even like in the next hour I have to go do this, but I have to do a few things. I'll split it into 15-minute time frames. Like, I be tripping sometimes, honestly. Like, the charts be in my head all day. It's kind of weird, but what have I implemented? That's it. Really, just discipline. I do need to get a little more disciplined. Obviously, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
But it gets kind of hard with a lot going on. You get me? Like, there's real life, and then there's the charts. And once the charts, it's a hard balance. You get me? But the goal is to eventually have the charts make the balance a little easier.
Yeah, I want to talk about your main goal when it comes to the legacy that you're wanting to leave, or the future vision that you have for yourself. What does that look like, and how does trading relate to that?
Main goal. In trading?
Yeah, I mean, in trading.
Goal. I don't really set goals.
Okay.
Because I feel like goals limit you.
Sure.
So it's like how some people have a goal of like 5K today. I feel like that's going to limit you because you never know what the day can give. You never know what the chart can offer you.
Totally.
So goals in trading, like, I would love to teach a lot of people and change a lot of lives. but I can't put a number on it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'd
Of
love
course
to.
not. No, it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
definitive.
you get me. But
yeah.
like, I would love to change lives. You get me? Because my life was changed. You get me? Like, I was a kid that was kicked out of school all the time, the class clown, this, that, and the third. I was always a problem child, the black sheep. Like, that's how that goes. And then I got into the charts, and it's like now people are proud of you and this, that, and the third, and now everyone wants to see you win. And it's like, I remember a couple years ago, y'all thought I was going to be nothing, though. You get me? So it's like, I appreciate it, but it's like anyone can do this. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was the kid that never had the discipline, this, that, and the third. And then I got into something and put my time in, my dedication, and look where I got in a year. I'm not saying I'm at the top, but we're on the way.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so anyone can do it, no matter what your background is, what you have around you. Like, it's all doable, and that's what these prop firms provide. You get me? Like, you can get lucky on your first, not lucky, but not saying it's all luck, but if you're skillful, you can get your first top tier account and smack 10% off of a 200K account, and 20K is a life changer, so I don't care who you are. 20K is 20K at the end of the day, and that's just 10%. A lot of people want to put 1K in an account and turn it into 10. That's 1,000%. Like, it's kind of hard. You get me? It's very difficult. Why not go for the little 10%? 20K every 2 weeks, multiple accounts, 300K account, 30K. You get me? Like, that's how I had started looking at it, and the cash outs just started rolling in. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, it's like, damn, like, is this real? Like, it's actually hit my account. Like, whoa.
The opportunity that the prop firms provide. I know that, I mean, so many people who have been in the space for, 5, 6, 10 years didn't have access to prop firms and were having to trade their own personal capital, and saying that was the hardest part of trading, was starting on a $500, $2,000 account and trying to flip that into quote unquote life-changing money, or money that makes an impact in their lives. And so you trade primarily prop firms. Why top tier?
Like I said, like, top tier has the top dogs. Like, I don't have to sit around and look at these other props and not know any face on it and be like, am I going to get a payout? Am I going to get the refund? Am I actually, I don't have to question with top tier. You see the top dogs on it. Like, they're not going to tarnish their name. They're like, you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a no-brainer to shop with top tier. Yeah. Like, it's like, why not? You get me? Like, these other props, everyone is always going to have, like, the main question is, are you going to get paid out? It's too much work to go look at the trust pilots and look at the reviews and this, that, and the third. And then I have plenty friends that have gotten burned by plenty accounts, plenty props. They've had nice payouts coming and never got them. They've gotten, I've seen it all. That's what I'm saying. Like, luckily I was able to see a lot of things and learn from other people's mistakes. I've never not gotten a payout, thankfully. Yeah. But I know people that haven't, and I would cry.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
that also ruins your whole. You get me? Like, you're on the way. Something like that happens, and it's kind of gonna slow you down.
The momentum.
Your psychology. Like I said, the psychology is the most important thing in trading. And like, once your psychology gets ruined, you can go back to square one. You get me? Like, it's good to, like, maybe slow down, but like, back to level one is. That's why a lot of people don't become profitable until years later. Because, like you said, if you're on like a live account, your own capital, for you to turn 1K to 10K, you're essentially gambling. Essentially, because you're over leveraging like crazy. So then once you lose an account like that, let's say you do turn the 1 to 10, now you want to turn the 10 to 100, you can blow that, and that's gonna ruin your psychology, because now you could have just had the 10K. So it's like, essentially, like, there is no rules or structure behind anything when you're doing something like that. Like, it's doable, but it's essentially not how you really should trade.
Yeah, it's not the right way, ultimately.
Like, when they say you're trading a prop account, only risk 1%. What if I want to risk the whole 4? You get me? Like, it's not like I'm doing a 10 to 100K account and I'm risking 60%. You get me? Like, if you want to look at percentages, like, at the end of the day, like, you shouldn't really care what any other trader is doing. You get me? Like, if you can get motivated from it, pay attention to it.
Great.
If you can learn from it, pay attention to it. But if you're going to hate on it and you're going to, like, think this, that, and the third, like, you're wasting your own time. Like that's like an out of side of trading. That's like you're just wasting your own time.
Yeah.
For real. So that's how I look at a lot of things like that.
Okay. I know there's a ton of people who are watching this interview, and either they are a current trader with Top Tier, or they're on the fence. Maybe they're trying to get funded or thinking of purchasing an account. If you had to give a few pieces of advice on how you would go about things from what you know now in your experience, what would you say to someone who's looking to get funded with Top Tier?
Invest in education. Step one, always invest in education. Get an account size that you're okay with losing, because every investment is a risk. Once you get an account you're okay with losing, really be dedicated to it. Put the work in. Everything you study, put that into the charts, and always stay humble. Like, you can cash out and then don't think you're top dog and then blow the account, which I've been through that. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's all things you have to learn from. And when you lose money, you learn a little faster. So that's the most I can really tell people. With Top Tier, there's nothing else I could tell you other than you're in good hands. You're going to get payouts. The live support's 24/7. There's a bunch of affiliates you could talk to. People, like, even there's everything. Like, there's nothing else you could say. These other prop firms, you don't know nobody, realistically. So that's it.
Antonio. Yeah, this has been such a fantastic conversation, and I appreciate you for joining us. Can you let everyone know where they can find you online?
Every social media is under Sober Pay to Play, SOBERPAY2PLAY.
Okay.
So that's under everything. I have a lot of things coming out for January. Course coming out in January. The Discord is free. The link in my bio and all my socials brings you to the Discord, the YouTube, all the other socials. TikTok's kind of making some movements, and want to come out with merch, all type of things. You get me? There's all type of different avenues trying to go in this trading career.
There we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, I want to remind you to like this video, and please, please, please subscribe to the Top Tier YouTube channel ultimately, so you can always be notified when we are posting a new interview, so you can continue to gain value from what we're sharing. But I appreciate you for being here today.
You too. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.